Hello, first grade friends. Ms. Banis here today. Now, yesterday we studied fiction, and today we're going to study nonfiction. So let's take a quick refresher on fiction so we have that in our brain. We found out that in fiction books, the author writes a story that is made up or something that's not true. Now, today we're studying nonfiction. Can you say nonfiction with me? Nonfiction. And in a nonfiction text, the author writes true information and facts about a topic. Let's read that together. The author writes true information and facts about a topic, and they do this to teach you about that topic. And they are definitely an expert on that topic because they wrote this whole book about it. Now, we talked about turtles with fiction, and we're going to talk about turtles with nonfiction today. Now, I have not one, but two nonfiction texts to show you. And I want to show you both of them because they look a little bit different, but they're both nonfiction. Okay, so the first book I have for us today is One Tiny Turtle by Nicola Davies. Okay, so I put that as our first book, and the topic is sea turtles. Okay, now when we think about fiction text, we remember, we know fiction text must be read from the beginning to the end. Now, I want you to keep this in your brain. When we read nonfiction texts, we don't have to read them in order all the time because we might just want to jump to the information that we want to know. So we're going to look for that when we read this book today and also sea turtles. Okay, so let's start with One Tiny Turtle. We're going to be on the hunt for some text features, which we learned about last week, and we're going to be on the hunt for some new facts that we learned. Okay, because remember, in a nonfiction text, we're learning something new. One Tiny Turtle by Nicola Davies, illustrated by Jane Chapman. Now, you guys are thinking, wait a minute, how can this be a nonfiction text? These are illustrations. Let's open up and see if we can figure that out. One Tiny Turtle. Far, far out to sea, land is only a memory. An empty sky touches the water. Just beneath the surface is a tangle of weed and driftwood where tiny creatures cling. This is the nursery of a sea turtle. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to keep reading. Passing in a boat, you might not notice the turtle. Not much bigger than a bottle top. She hides in the green shadows. She's a baby, so her shell is soft and old as leather. Just a little fish bite could rip it open. But the turtle is safe in her world of weed and snaps her beak on tiny crabs and shrimps. Then I look down here and I see something that's in smaller text, so I'm going to read that to figure out what it says. Turtles have shells that cover their backs and shells that cover their stomachs. The shells are made from bony plates that get bigger and harder as the turtles grow. So you guys, this is a caption. This is going to tell me about this baby turtle right here. Now, this isn't a photograph. This is either a drawing or a painting, but it's still telling me information. Nicola Davies and Jane Chapman, they chose drawings or paintings for this book, but it still teaches us information about sea turtles, so it's a nonfiction text. Down here, this is you know what text feature it is? It tells you about the picture. It's the caption. So we see captions in this book. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to our text features up here, just so we can keep track of them. So we noticed a caption in this book. Okay, let's see if we can find any more. The turtle swims around, flapping her long front flippers like wings. She is flying underwater. She pokes her pinprick nostrils through the silver surface to take a quick breath. So fast, blink, and you'd miss it. Then she's gone, diving down into her secret life again. Ooh, again, I see some smaller text that's probably going to explain these illustrations. So let's go ahead and read that. Fish breathe underwater, but turtles are reptiles and need to come up to the surface for air. They do this every 4 to 5 minutes when they are active. When they are asleep, they can stay underwater for hours. Whoa, that is a really cool fact that I just learned about sea turtles. by reading this nonfiction text. I'm going to go ahead and add that to my fact chart up there. So let me look back and reread one more time. Fish breathe underwater, but turtles are reptiles and need to come up to the surface for air. I'm going to put that because that's something interesting I learned. Okay, so turtles come up to the surface. To the surface to breathe. Okay, so from reading that nonfiction text, I learned turtles come up to the surface to breathe. Awesome. Now, we know in a nonfiction text, you don't have to read the whole thing from beginning to end to learn something. We already learned something from reading just 2 pages. Okay, so now I'm going to jump over to our other nonfiction text and check it out. Now think, what do you notice that's a little bit different about this book from this book? Let me give you a second to think. You might be noticing that it has a different title, right? So the last one was called One Tiny Turtle, and this one is Sea Turtles, okay? And that's also our topic. It tells us right there on the cover. This is written and illustrated by Laura Marsh. Okay, so let's open up. What are you guys noticing? I see again on the title page, it's a photograph, you're right. So instead of illustrations like we saw in One Tiny Turtle, I see photographs. And this author, Laura Marsh, she chose photographs for this nonfiction text. And I'm stopped right here because I see a text feature. What text feature is this? The table of contents, you're exactly right. And so this has all of the topics that are in this text and what page I can find them on. And this tells us that we don't need to read the whole book. If we want to find one piece of information, we're going to look for it on our table of contents. So this is a text feature that I see. So I'm going to put this under our text features chart. So we see a table of contents. Awesome. Now, you guys, I really want to know what kind of food a sea turtle eats. So I'm going to go ahead, look at my table of contents. Ooh, I see this heading on the menu. And I'm thinking, what's on the menu for a sea turtle? And that's on page 22. So I'm going to flip to page 22. Now, look, I can skip all these pages because I don't need to read all of these to figure that out. Okay, I go to page 22. I check the heading on the menu. I'm on the correct page. Awesome. Let's go ahead and read this. Munch, munch, what's for lunch? Most sea turtles eat plants and animals. They dine on algae and seagrass. They also munch on crab and conchs. Jellyfish are a favorite food for many sea turtles, but plastic trash can look like jellyfish in the ocean, and that spells trouble. Swallowing trash can hurt and even kill sea turtles. That is really upsetting. I'm going to show you guys these photographs. And you guys, these photographs are another text feature. So I'm going to go add that up there. I'm going to put it up here. Photographs. Okay, and I also learned a new fact about what they eat. When I look back in my text, I see that they dine on algae and seagrasses. So I'm going to put that right up here. So turtles, or sea turtles, eat algae and seagrasses. Now they listed a lot of different foods that sea turtles eat, but I just wrote the first 2 because those are probably the main foods. Now, awesome. I didn't have to read this whole book to figure that out. So we know that nonfiction books are true information and facts that the author teaches us. And remember, it's about one topic. And our topic today is Sea turtles, rock on. So let's look back. We have our titles. The topic was sea turtles. We saw a bunch of text features, and I bet if I kept looking through these books, I'd find even more. Okay, and I learned 2 facts today from my nonfiction text. Now, your job right now is I want you to go and read a nonfiction text. It can be on Raz Kids, Epic, or a nonfiction text you have at your house. Then I want you to video yourself on Seesaw and tell me, how do you know it's a nonfiction text? I am so excited to see your videos, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, everyone. Bye, guys.